So we flew from Japan to Texas, and now we're going to another exotic destination, which is Tanzania, to Dar es Salaam. We recorded the speech of Mr. Sendoro Juma, which works for the Singo Africa Limited. Mr. Sendoro is working with openMAINT mostly, and with the Tanzania institutions. He's trying to well, distribute openMAINT in the African country, in particular in Tanzania, of course, but his aim is to actually, he sees a lot of potential for openMAINT, for the open source license to really enter the public administrations, public companies in Africa. So he, since a lot of time, Mr. Sendoro is following our work. He believes in it very much. So I think it is very interesting from our side too to listen to his word about openMAINT in Africa.
I am Sendoro, representing an organization called Singo Africa Limited. Today I will speak about openMAINT use case in Tanzania, especially on public applications, a public institution. So what is about my organization? Okay, my organization is a business technology and a consulting services company that are aiming at bringing global best practices, world-class service experiences to the market and the operation in Africa. Our aim, of course, is to ensure that end-to-end value is delivered, resources are well managed. You know, we have challenges of resources in Africa, how to optimize, how to prioritize. So wherever small investment which is done in IT, it actually need to be well managed, as well as minimize risk of IT project implementation. We ensure that our team is well selected, well trained, and therefore we ensure that we source, we acquire effective architecture and implementation of services and solutions. So, as for the case of using openMAINT in Africa, or in particular in Tanzania, I will give just a few information regarding what usually happen from maybe a controller general. I'm talking about the one who, the auditor general, who always put public information about the auditing of all public institutions. Usually, most of the time, you will see that assets asset management have an issue. For example, comments like or audit query like asset available but not recorded, asset lost, stolen but not recorded, asset not in location where they are supposed to be, that is misplaced, asset evaluation in the books or disposal, asset identification, labeling, tagging, and all that. Or sometimes, I think it's probably now it's improved, sometimes no asset register at all. So the issue is critical, and in a country like mine where there is probably 130 plus local governments, I mean, we need a solution that will be able to scale up. That's the solution that is open source. I will say why it's open source. And for this, we believe this openMAINT is better than any other closed source solutions. So, however, the situation is not just in public, it can be also in private universities, hospital, health center, etc. So, I will give an overview why I say open source is probably the one wanted. In our in our government, we have e-government agency. And this e-government agency is responsible to advise the whole organization, the whole public institutions, all public institutions on what is the software standard or architecture to be adopted. So, in their document about application architecture, their purpose is to reduce complexity, promote reusability, flexibility, extensibility, simplicity, and ease of use. Are there to open standards? When I talk about open standard, it's definitely very clear that here we are speaking about open source, etc. Service-oriented architecture, vendor interdependence means the application, if the vendor may be bankrupt, whatever, the application can still well be managed in future. This is mainly to maximize value extracted from ICT. This will minimize the time, cost, and the complexity of developing and the maintaining of the software as time goes. So in that document, what are the specific statements I've seen very interesting, which actually end up comply with what actually we're working with. So they say their principle is application shall be designed with modular component-based approach. Their rationale is to reduce cost of ownership and avoid vendor locking. You all guys, you will agree with me that the openMAINT completely, the philosophy is same as what is the government is trying to propose. Okay, then another principle then talk about is application shall be designed using modular and component based approach, reduced cost of ownership, like that. You all agree with me that the openMAINT is basically made of that way. Okay, so in this case, this openMAINT is a clear fit with the government requirement, or in particular our e-governance agency. So briefly, this what they say, and to conclude is that openMAINT the best fit, not only probably for Tanzania, it might be for all public sector in Africa, maybe Africa's SMEs. Why? Because you don't need a very expensive software to manage those things. Then future development of application should incorporate Africa requirement. This is a suggestion. I'm just putting that. Maybe it's very important now to engage wherever, so that we incorporate Africa requirement in particular to be able to whatever. So my organization, Singo Africa Limited, is working with Tecnoteca to see how we can distribute openMAINT in the Africa market. Thank you so much for listening, and bye-bye.
Well, bye to you, Sendoro. It was nice hearing you. Unfortunately, he couldn't be live with us here today as well, but he promised that he will be for the next one. So we wait for him, and we'll see how actually the open source tool can enter the African market with success, as he said. We are very confident with it. So I mean, I think it's just a matter of time. Now go to